Kansas City advances to their 6th consecutive AFC title game, the reigning champions of pro football. They win 27-24 as Isaiah Pacheco scoring the go-ahead touchdown with 4 minutes and some change on the clock there for a 4-yard run, 40 seconds into the fourth quarter, and then the Chiefs able to maintain the lead as Buffalo did not score. The Chiefs clinching the win. They ran out the clock after Tyler Bass fell on his ass. At the very end there, a field goal, 44-yard field goal attempt, an opportunity to tie the game with 1:43 to go. And, wide right for Tyler Bass. And turn at the last, the party's over. See you later, Buffalo, you losers. You're out of the playoffs. Just like that, the Chiefs get the victory. The reigning champions will move on to Baltimore, and they have a play date with Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, the number 1 seed. The winner heads to Viva Las Vegas for Super Bowl 58. The better story, though, is in the losing locker room on this Chiefs game where they are victorious. So we'll start with Buffalo. Now, Josh Allen made a big deal after the game when asked about the ending here. And the field goal would have just tied the game. It would not have won the game. But Josh Allen said of the missed kick, he said, quote, "One play doesn't define a game or a season," close quote. That was the commentary from the Bills quarterback. So let's discuss that quote. I think that's an interesting quote, so let's discuss. What do you say? So the question, does Josh Allen have a point when he says that one play does not define a game or a season? So I've got cutlery, cardio, and textbook. We'll combine all of these things together, and we're going to make some confetti. Now, the team that wins the championship gets confetti, which means the Bills will not be getting confetti. They will not. But as far as the Komodo dragon in the room, Josh Allen trying to soften the blow from his idiot kicker missing a 44-yard field goal. So Josh Allen, we'll start with this, right? I know he's trying to be a good teammate and all that, and we get it. That's the proper football decorum. And the sports scribes will say, well, he's a leader. That's what I want from my quarterback. Okay, fine. That's great, wonderful, bravo. You get the nice story on the blog about how wonderful a teammate you are and all that. Now, that said, in terms of reality, I live in Realityville. I don't live in that world. I live in Realityville. And in Realityville, maybe you should visit my neighborhood. Maybe you live in Realityville as well. But in Realityville, what Josh Allen said, his point was cutlery, as in the plastic kind of cutlery, a dull butter knife. That's what that was. That quote, that was a dull butter knife. It was not based in reality. Again, I'm in reality. I'm the mayor of reality. That was not reality. All right? It's a high-stakes game of poker, and we all know that one of the reasons we like football is that one play absolutely can and often will define your season. That's the way it goes. It doesn't have to be in the Super Bowl. Most people say, well, it's only the Super Bowl. It's Russell Wilson throwing an interception at the goal line for Seattle. It's Scott Norwood wide right. But let's not forget, one of the greatest endings of a game in my lifetime was on a snowy day in Foxborough in the divisional round when the New England Patriots took down the Raiders, the infamous tuck rule. And to this day, I got friends of mine that are Raider fans that have not forgiven, have not let it go what happened in that game. But that was a divisional round game, and New England then had to play Pittsburgh in the AFC Championship game before eventually getting to the Super Bowl that particular year. So you've got that. Now, page 2 here. Is it true that Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen should be thanking Tyler Bass, should be thanking him for missing that field goal? The answer is actually yes. All right, so let me facilitate my take on this, okay? The Buffalo Bills absolutely dominated the stat sheet, controlled the game. We've seen the script before, what happens when your kicker misses a key kick here. It's like an old episode remastered with a new ending here for the Buffalo Bills. And the Scott Norwood game, which we already mentioned, everyone brings up the same thing here. If you're old, you know that game. But an AFC divisional game at home, you're clearly outplaying the Chiefs in every statistical measurement, and yet you need your kicker just to tie the game in the fourth quarter? That is an indictment of Josh Allen. It is. Should not have ever come down to that. It should not have. Right? I mean, that's a direct line from Josh Allen to not good enough would be the line. Right? That's like there's a direct line. Josh Allen, not good enough. Not good enough on this particular day. Right? I mean, that's the reality. And Kansas City's defense, the first half of this game, I was texting some friends of mine. We were going back and forth, and it's like, well, Kansas City getting blown off the ball. No, I had, if you watch the TV show, I had the Chiefs because they were the healthier team. I like to bet on the healthier team. They have the better quarterback. Mahomes obviously better than Josh Allen. Anybody knows football knows that. So you got the better quarterback. You've got the better, healthier team. Maybe not the better team, but you got the healthier team. And so you got all that on your side, but yet Buffalo is literally blowing the Chiefs off the line of scrimmage to begin the game, running it down their throats. And in Buffalo, they don't build up the big lead. They don't have a massive lead in this game. And they had no downhill passing, no downfield passing. It was all uphill. It was all work. The Bills' offense, what they were essentially doing, the passing game for the Bills' offense, it was like doing cardio training, the sideways shuffle. They were doing the sideways shuffle is what they were doing in Buffalo. Nothing worked downfield. Josh Allen averaged a Suckville 4.8 yards per pass attempt. Of course, it's hard to get passes to go down the field when you're throwing at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. You're sideways passing it, not the vertical passing attack, sideways passing attack. And in the second half of the game, it was even worse. Using MALLER math, Josh Allen, in the second half of that game, a home game against the Chiefs, he averaged less than 4 yards per pass, 3.7 yards per pass for Josh Allen. So Allen got outplayed by Mahomes. Mahomes didn't have as many attempts, but he was much more efficient with that second-rate wide receiver core that we've talked about all year because they're not very good in Kansas City. And yet, here we are, and Mahomes able to outplay Josh Allen in terms of efficiency and whatnot. So my theory is this. I'll get to the point, please. My theory is simple. That Josh Allen was overcompensating because of people like me that point out he's a stumble bum and he's a mistake-prone quarterback. And so rather than make some throws down the field that were risky, that could be intercepted, the Bills' passing attack was sideways. Well, he didn't throw an interception, Josh Allen, in the game. He did have a fumble that was recovered, fortunately, by Buffalo in this game. But the Bills' attack, because they know the kryptonite of Josh Allen is the interception. So they made sure he would not be in a position to throw an interception. He didn't have an interception. But they did not have the big play attack in the passing game. There was also a Stephon Diggs. There was a couple of attempts downfield. Stephon Diggs, they should get rid of him because he dropped it. And it was right in his hands, and he dropped it right in his breadbasket, and he screwed that up. So, again, Tyler Bass, people point out the kicker, but Josh Allen should thank him because that's the guy that everyone's going to be talking about all week, the idiot kicker, and they'll overlook Josh Allen and his shortcomings. All right, last word here. So what does this win say about Andy Reid, Big Red, Patrick Mahomes, and the Chiefs as they are on to Baltimore in the AFC Championship game? So a refresher course. This is a refresher course. It is a reminder. And we pointed this out on Benny versus the Penny a couple weeks ago. It was like, don't sleep on the Bills, or on the Chiefs, rather, as they entered the playoffs against the Dolphins. We mentioned that. But persistence does pay off here. Persistence does pay off. Doesn't guarantee the Chiefs are going to beat the Ravens next week. But Kansas City, still the same plodding team. They did not improve the roster in any major way when they had the opportunity. This is a lesser team than the Kansas City team that won the Super Bowl last year. Yet, they've been in the right place at the right time. They played a Dolphin team that was battle-scarred with a bunch of guys out on defense. Won that game on a freezing night at Arrowhead. This game, they had the healthier team. They were able to pull it out. But Mahomes and that offense, pretty efficient here. So this was a textbook example for those that are like, oh, the Chiefs, they're no good, blah, 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 blah. Stick-to-itness for the Chiefs as Buffalo. The numbers were mind-blowing about how much better they were if you look at the stats. Kansas City only converted 1 third down the entire day on Sunday. They were 1 of 5 on third down. The Chiefs only ran 43 legitimate offensive plays other than those kneel downs, 1 before halftime, 3 at the end of the game. Buffalo ran 78 games. They had the ball for 37 minutes. Possession is supposed to be 9/10 of victory. It was not for the Bills. It was not for the Buffalo Bills. They were better in the red zone. They were better on third down. But in the end, they were not good enough. It's Kansas City. Did not win the stats, but they won the game, and they finished the game with more grit. And Buffalo's idiot kicker, but the Bills not taking chances down the field. That came back to bite them in the end. The Bills self-destructing, not able to score in the fourth quarter of that game. Last 3 possessions for the Bills. They had a fake punt turnover on downs as a result because Damar Hamlin did not make the line to gain. The next possession was a traditional punt, and then the final possession for the Bills turned out to be that missed field goal.